DearMamaSal on her way to work after a week off, and it is 7 degrees here in southern BC, and that would be about 44 if you were in northern Washington state. Well, there's one thing that I do know. And that is that I'm not going to be bored when I retire. It was amazing. It was just like, I took a staycation, and I had all sorts of ideas about, you know, taking a drive down and look at the Tulip Festival and do things like that. And then I got inspired to, because I had caught up with quite a lot of sleep, I guess, but I got inspired to actually start inputting my book into a format that I could put up in the cloud and have it as an ebook. So, and that took quite a bit of my time. I've only got about a third of the way through, but I've got a third of the way through. And then my goal, I know it sounds really stupid, but my goal was to clean out one closet in my lobby. The closet in my lobby. In case you think I've got more than one. Which was definitely in need of a little bit of attention, and that would be putting it very mildly. You know, have you ever had that closet from hell? Yeah, well, that's that. I don't know what happened to that closet. I think it got bad, and then, you know, it's so bad that it looks overwhelming, so you don't do it. Anyway, I hauled everything out of there, and I was horrified. The dirt inside there. It was just like, really? I mean, where does that come from? That's what I don't understand. And so, anyway, it's clean. It's been steamed. The walls have been steamed. The shelf has been steamed. And part of my concern about it was that, you know, that's one of those cupboards that hasn't been cleaned out since the smoking days. And for some reason that made it something I wasn't keen to tackle. Isn't that funny? I got a couple more, I can tell you. But the good news is it's done, and I feel so good about having done it. Now, there is half a box in there that I haven't sorted, and that's all. And I gave myself permission that that's okay, because it was getting late last night, and I'm going, it's enough. And this half box is not going to be the end of the world. And the reason I didn't clear it is because it's got some stuff in there that I think maybe, whoops, some of the peeps will enjoy, I think. So I don't want to throw it away until I've been through it and see if there's anything there from my days of doing seminars and things that they might enjoy. So I'm very excited about that. We met new people on the broadcast, which is always fun. I'm noticing that slowly, one by one, more and more people are getting to pop in and see what we're about and find out we're actually quite funny. That we're funny, but also quite serious if we need to be. And so we got to meet, amongst others, Angela, who was an absolute delight to meet. It's funny, you sort of meet some people and they instantly, they're going to fit in. And Angela was one of those people, without a doubt. And I can't remember who else we met, but I know we met a couple more. So it was really, really good. Very happy about that. And the broadcasts we put in an extra one because I was on vacation. So we did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday broadcast this week. And it is really quite interesting. What I've realized is that we're getting known for what we do, and that's good. And we've noticed that not just on Vaughan TV, but also now on Tiny Chat, that people came in to Tiny Chat this time and said, wow, it's so nice to have a broadcast channel that's not people burping or farting or getting their laughs from doing gross things or being high. And we said, welcome aboard. So it was good to hear that we're being seen as a worthwhile channel, as opposed to just, in other words, entertainment, but it's entertaining in a clean way rather than a filthy way. So, good. We like that sort of reputation. Now, we're going to be on, by the time you hear this, we'll know whether Em got placed in the World Cheerleading. She made it through to the second round, and then she was saying last night that they had a few bobbles on their pyramid and stuff, and they were going into the finals today, but my sense of that is that she's probably into the placing finals as opposed to the winning finals, but I could be wrong. But the good news is that they've got that far. And what I asked her, because I know a lot of you would have wanted me to, what I asked her was, how did the team that you would have been on do? If you remember, she was initially on a team in her home state before she got called to go on the world class team, the all-star team. And she said that sadly they didn't even make it into the top 10. So we know that she made the right decision to go on the all-stars, obviously. And what will happen is they will compete today. And from what I gather, they've gone home, back to their various communities on Tuesday. So that doesn't give them much time to get back from Orlando, pack up and go. Never mind catch up on some sleep. So for those of you who might be in Tornado Alley, as it is today, I hope everybody that you know is safe. I was watching that this morning and it was horrifying to see. And I think when you see stuff like that, it just makes you realize, live for today. Don't worry too much about what you're going to be doing 10 years from now or 20 years from now, or don't spend too much time regretting what you did in the past or didn't do in the past or whatever. Just do everything you can to make today a fun, happy day. And that's a choice that we make. I wanted to talk a bit about something that came up on one of the broadcasts this weekend, because I think it probably affects more than the one person that was discussing it this weekend. And that is somebody who has a parent who is failing, and the parents are split up. And part of the family is about to move to another state, and leaving the father, who is ill, on his own, to the large part. And this viewer is obviously concerned. What's going to happen to my daddy? And when we investigated it, there will still be people there to look after her father. And so what she's going through is actually some level of guilt, if you like, at leaving her father when he's sick. Now, when I investigated, the relationship between the father and the daughter isn't necessarily that good. But even so, it is a concern, and you can understand it. Excuse me. So, this is where you have to trust. For those of you who know the Serenity Prayer, it's all about, do the things you can do for people and forgive yourself for the things that you can't. And at her age, she cannot fix the problem. Her father's illness is the same as my father's illness, and it's a degenerative thing. And so it's not something she can do anything about. It's inevitable what will happen, and it's just a matter of time. And at some point you have to just know that, and know that that's okay. I can remember, for example, with my mother living overseas, and I couldn't get to see her as often as I would have liked. But what I did do is I made sure that when I went for a good period of time. I'd go for maybe 6 weeks at a time. Just so that we could really bond. I mean, she lived half a world away, literally. And so it took time to get there, and it took time to recover once you got there. But the good news about it was that I really used to stay for quite a while. And I sat by her bed, and we chatted and played what games she could, and did those sort of things. But then I'd be gone, and I knew that one time I would go and she wouldn't make it for the next visit. And it happened. And she died on Valentine's Day. So, I'm sorry, I've just seen a car. And on the back of the car there is like a giant room fan with a seat on it. A seat sticking out of it. And what looks like a gas tank underneath it. As in petrol. Not a gas cylinder, but a gas you put in a car. So obviously it is one of those flying machine things that you thought were only in movies, but apparently somebody's got one of his own. Like a jetpack. But yeah, that would be fun. I personally couldn't do it, but I bet you it would be fun. Anyway, so my heart really went out to this young person, and it is unfortunately one of those sad realities in life. And that we all have to go through. And there is no shortcut for it. You know, there's no simple answer to it. So, I'm sure that this young viewer isn't the only one that's going through this sort of thing. And I just wanted to say to everybody, you know, the most important thing that you can do when you have this situation is to look after yourself. And I really encourage this young person to get some counseling if she could, because she's obviously struggling with it, and she needs somebody to talk to and to be able to process with, especially as she's also going through a big move, and that's a lot of stress for any human being. And I want to thank those viewers who are supporting her like that, and I know that there are viewers that are doing that, and I really, really appreciate the fact that you're doing that. And that's, of course, what we're all about. And I had one viewer write to me this week and say, I can't believe, you know, how much you support people, you as in the group. And I said, it's what we do. It's what we do. And even yesterday, we had a viewer who got a little upset in talking about a situation. And again, viewers said, don't worry, we'll you know, stay and chat to him. I had to go. But they were good enough to carry on the support. And I'm hoping that by the time that viewer had time to process everything, that they were feeling better. So I cannot say how much I am honored by the fact that I have the people around me that I do. It was really strange last night. I was talking to Benji because, as some of you know, I'm going down to visit them all this weekend. In fact, I'm going down on Friday. And so Benji and I were just talking about my going down there, and that I was thinking that while I am down there, I might just go and check out the campsite that I want to take my brother to. So on Saturday probably, just pop over there and go and see what that's like and get a nice campsite. Because, you know, there's something about, if you've never been to a campsite before, you don't know where the good ones are, because you don't get a sense of that. You don't know where you get the afternoon sun, and it's much easier if you've seen the place and you can discuss it with the owners and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do this weekend, as well as visit, obviously. So we were talking about, Benji and I were talking about how how they're doing with the twins. And I think Benji says that one twin appears to be more work than one Giuliana. And then they've got two of them, not just one twin, they've got two. And he's actually quite surprised about that. He didn't, he thought the twins together would probably be 1.5 times, or let me put it this way, almost sort of Giuliana plus another half. But they're still keeping their sense of humor, which is good. And they just are having such an experience. And I said to him, I know it's difficult sometimes, but try and enjoy every minute of it, because they are going to be grown so quickly. as you've already seen with Giuliana. And you can just tell as well, you know, how absolutely delighted he is with the way that Giuliana is developing and the character that she has and the sense of humor that she has and the intelligence that she has. And I said, well, not just you, Benji, everybody. We're all watching this and we're all loving it. And I said, all credit to her parents, who have instilled so much learning. I think that's the thing that always amazes me when I watch them. They're always teaching Giuliana stuff, fun stuff. You know, teaching her how to communicate, teaching her how to laugh, teaching her to be excited in a fun way, teaching her to have that sense of humor. And of course, teaching her to dance. And I said, you know, we're going to have another Beyonce on our hands, there's no doubt. You know, but maybe a singer as well. Ah, Lord. But we will enjoy watching her, that's for sure. I think it's going to be such fun. I don't think she's going to be outshone by the twins by any matter of means. So how does it feel to be going back to work? I'd love to tell you that it feels just great. But quite honestly, it feels a little overwhelming. I don't feel like I've had 10 days off at all. But I have. But I'm just going to take it easy and just do the best I can. I know my desk is going to be horrific. My office is going to be a nightmare because everybody, you know, dumps stuff in there to get sorted, and I'm the chief sorter of stuff. And so it's really quite funny. So we know what it's going to look like, and because I know it's going to look like that, I'm not too concerned. I'm not going to have a heart attack when I see it. It's going to be, oh yeah, that's just what I expected. And I think it's actually quite fun to be going back in a way. I've learned a few lessons over the last few days about how I need to pace myself to get things done. And I am now beginning to pace myself to obviously get things done for my brother's visit. And he's coming from Africa. So it's always a very different experience because the way he lives his life in Africa is very different from the way I live mine. He's even at his age, and he would be 70 now. Oh, he'll be 70 this year. He's still very active sports-wise. And I'm not, obviously. So I'm going to need to find some things he can do sports-wise that will keep him occupied. And one of the things he does is play golf, but there's part of me that goes, will I even be able to walk around a golf course anymore? So, and you know, if I did, what if I picked up a golf club? Would I be unable to walk from that point onwards? Very likely. because I've got to make that decision. All right, everybody, I hope you all have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, whatever it is when you're listening to this, and just a big thank you to you all. I really do want to thank you all for being viewers and listeners and part of the broadcast team, because I really am having a lot of fun. I realized that this weekend, or this week. It definitely has become a way of life for me, and I accept that. And it's a way of life that I enjoy. Thanks to you guys. You guys make it very, very enjoyable and very funny. I probably have, as I've said before, laughed more since I've been doing this than I've laughed in a long time. And that's got to be good for your health, right? Okay. That wasn't the best bit of parking in the world. There we go. Alright, so everybody have a good one. And remember, you can only do the best you can. And sometimes that isn't as much as you would like to. This is Dear Mama Sal saying bye-bye for now.